Chapter 22, French Alliance, 1984. I began the revolution with 82 men. If I had to do it again, I would do it with 10. In absolute faith. It does not matter how small you are, if you have faith in a plan of action. Fidel Castro. Qu'est-ce que vous voudrez, monsieur? What would you like, sir? I asked the tall, blonde customer. Rien, merci. Nothing, thank you, he answered. Roberto Gallo, an American scientist, organized this press conference where ambassadors from around the world were meeting at this exclusive reception hosted in Tijuana, Mexico. At the time, I was a student at the French Alliance, the largest network of French language and cultural centers in the world. I was hired as a waiter because I spoke English and French. Je te connais. Do I know you? He asked. Je ne crois pas, monsieur. I don't think so, sir, I answered. It had been 1 year since I had fled my hometown, after a long and drawn-out series of fights that culminated into my enemies trying to ambush and kill me. Their attempts had failed, and I had escaped. My uncle had arranged for me to go to a safe house with my Aunt Gude in Tijuana. Today, after a year of being in hiding, I was a student at the Alliance Française, and I was learning languages. ¿Eres francés, Elio? Are you French, Elio? Blondie asked, in Spanish this time. Sí, señor. Nací en Paris. Yes, sir, I was born in Paris. I'm in Mexico now as an exchange student, I said, with a well-rehearsed broken Spanish accent. I was shaken at the idea that my enemies were still looking for me. AIDS is killing people all over the world. We need to work as one to eradicate it once and for all. Roberto Gallo spoke into the microphone. People are dying in record numbers around the world, and at this pace, scientific evidence shows that our human species is in danger of extinction. We must, and we shall, work together to stop this silent killer. Freeze the story. When I first arrived in Tijuana, my uncle said, blend in, survive, improvise. You are ready to face anything that comes your way, mijo. I had tried to get across the US border many times, snorkeling via the beach and swimming the river, jumping the fence, sneaking in through custom tolls, running against the traffic of the Interstate 5, hiding in the trunk of a car, and many other creative attempts in chase of the luring American dream. However, I had been caught over and over again, whether tackled, grabbed by the hair when I had hair, or stopped at gunpoint. I was always caught. Stop coming to our country, was the US Customs agent's broken record. I tried to reason, telling them that this was my country too, and that the ones that should go back to their country were them. Mother effers, it's you gringos who must go to your European country whence you came. You stole this land from us, and we, Mexican patriots, will take it back one day. Every time the customs officers heard my delusional arguments, they just smiled sarcastically, spat in my face, pushed me or kicked me in the ass, pushing me to the back of their trucks. Once the US Customs agent sent me back to Tijuana, I would go to the safety of my Aunt Guda's house. Mijo, while you try to get across the border to San Diego, unsuccessfully, I might add, you need to get a job. My Aunt Guda told me. You're not good at this business of getting over the border. Yeah, tia, of course. I had overextended my welcome at her house. The message was loud and clear. Get a job already. So there I was in Tijuana. My first job as a construction worker, which lasted for a few months. I moved out of my aunt's house and moved into the construction site where I was working. A large apartment complex. Genaro and Miguel, my two friends from Apatzingan, and I were staying in one of the construction rooms. No running water, no doors, no windows, or any other services made it a little tough. especially in the winter. It was cold, so windy, so dry, nothing like my warm hometown of Apatzingan, with trees, rivers, fields, warm weather, and warm people. Oh, how I missed it. I wasn't complaining though. I knew how to camp. However, when we were caught squatting in the premises, we were evicted and fired on the spot. That's how I ended up working as a restaurant cashier at this luxurious hotel, whose owner, a wealthy and powerful man with a beautiful wife and a beautiful daughter, and an even more beautiful executive secretary, Moni. Oh my God, I thought the first time I laid eyes on Moni, she was a beautiful woman. Her milky skin, eyes the color of the ocean, and a body that seemed to have been sculpted, made my heart skip a beat every time I was around her. Mijo, that's the perfect place for you to work, said Uncle Isidro on one of those once-in-a-while phone conversations we had. He was always checking on me. I don't know, Uncle. I'm getting bored here, and I heard that they're still looking for me, I said. When will I be able to go back, Uncle? I miss home. I miss my mom, my grandma, my aunts. I miss everybody. Hang in there, kid. Hang in there. I have a plan, said my uncle. What is it, Uncle? I'm ready. I'm ready for a change, I blurted out. Change takes time, mijo. Change takes time. You must blend in, keep this job, and don't blow it. Enroll in that school of languages close to your work. You know, the one where they teach Italian or some of those European languages, said my uncle. Thing is, I cannot send you money. They would track it. They would find out where you are. So, pretend you don't have a family, and you must find a sponsor. You know what to do. We've rehearsed this already. You've been training for this all of your life. I wasn't too excited about my uncle's directive. I wanted action. I wanted justice, satisfaction, whatever. I was young and ready for anything, especially if that anything involved adventure and danger. But orders were orders. I'd been raised to follow my uncle's requests. He always came through. He always kept his promises. All I had to do was to be patient. It was always worth it. But fast forward the story, lo and behold, so there he was. The hotel owner was right there. Right now, the owner was in front of me. That brought me back to my senses faster than a knife fight ends in a phone booth. Sir, good morning. My name is Elio. How are you today, sir? I blurted. Good morning, Elio, said the powerful man kindly. I'm fine, and you? Sir, I was wondering. You know we cater to Americans here at your hotel, and I was wondering if maybe, if I spoke English, we could probably increase sales. Don't you agree, sir? I said, holding the gaze of the powerful man. I rehearsed this sales pitch all weekend. Yes, I agree, but I don't understand. What does it have to do with me, Elio? Said the powerful man. Well, sir, the French Alliance, the School of Languages, has an enrollment promotion with a 25% discount. And I was wondering if you can sponsor me. I finally said it. And then I shut up. I had read in one of those sales books that once you have stated your request, you must shut up and let the customer say, yes, I'll buy what you're selling, Elio. Ah, I see, said the owner. He was used to people asking things from him. He also knew how to shake off beggars and how to say no bluntly. Come on, Dad, sponsor him. He's pleasant, he's always on time, and well, he's cute, said the man's daughter, who was hanging on to his arm, staring at me. One condition, said the man, looking at me. Anything, sir. You must get straight A's. Anything below that and I stop paying. Deal. I extended my hand and shook the old man's hand firmly. Strike one, I thought. Thank you, Dad, said the daughter, looking intently at him. Maybe I can tutor Elio. It'd be good for me to practice my English. What do you say, Dad? Was she serious? I would love to take tutoring from her, I thought. Sir, one more thing, I said hesitantly. I knew my next request would be a done deal, especially when The daughter was helping me out. Yeah, answered the businessman suspiciously. Well, sir, they have another promotion. If I sign up to learn 2 languages, English and French, the discount is 50%. We also have French and Canadian customers. The hotel, the restaurant, and the business would benefit if I learn how to speak those 2 languages. Don't you think, sir? I said, after glancing briefly at the daughter. Dad, please, she whispered. Please, I need to practice my French too. If I help him, my college grades will improve too. Okay, but remember, Elio, if you get anything lower than straight A's, the deal is off, said the old man. And no tutoring. Not right now anyway. The old man gave the daughter an accusatory look. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I stretched out my right hand, sandwiching his soft handshake with my left. The old man walked away, probably thinking, let me out of here before this guy asks for anything else. Back to my story. Knowing French and English got me this part-time job at this international press conference with the U.S. organizer had requested that anybody that worked at the reception should speak these 2 languages. Roberto Gallo had just finished his opening statements about his research for curing AIDS when, AIDS cure is fine, but how are we to work with the Middle East countries, said an American ambassador. What are we to do with the Palestinian Liberation Organization? They've been bombing American embassies and American barracks. I, for one, don't trust terrorists. I agree with you, Mr. American Ambassador. If you allow me, I can answer that question, said a well-spoken Arab-looking gentleman. Freeze the story. I remember my history teacher talking about the story behind this issue. In 1978, when the Israeli Defense Forces invaded Lebanon in response to the Coastal Road massacre, but even before that, the real issue had begun after Israel's original invasion of Palestine, backed by the United Nations. Having shown its military might in World War II, the US had the political and military muscle to act or dictate, with the disguise of diplomacy, anything. Back to my story. Excuse me, sir, would you like another drink? I asked the suspicious-looking customer. No, thank you, he responded, looking keenly at the Arabs. They looked tense. Yeah, the ambassador seemed to be getting off topic, onto a hot topic. Elio, do me a favor, find out what those Arabs are drinking, would you? I can answer that question, sir, loudly answered a well-dressed African-American. I'd like to hear that, said the Italian ambassador. At the risk of losing my campaign or popularity in my own country, I'm going to speak freely, said the African-American. While I cannot prove it, I believe the CIA created this virus as a systematic plan to get rid of homosexuals and African-Americans. That's an interesting theory, Mr. Jackson. Please continue, said a CIA representative, looking murderously at the African-American. This information comes from a South African president and a Nobel Peace Prize scientist. They claim with compelling evidence that the US government started this global genocide, starting with gay men in New York, San Francisco, and Los Angeles, with the 1978 hepatitis B experiments. After that, the next targets will be African Americans and Hispanics. Tell us, how does the CIA control affairs in other countries? You have friends in high places. You tell us, concluded Mr. Jackson. Come on, sir, yelled the CIA rep with a mocking tone. Why are you spreading conspiracy theories? Everybody knows that the AIDS virus jumped from monkeys to humans. Why don't you talk about solutions instead of conspiracy theories? We have more important issues, like dealing with terrorists and tightening out our border. I thought, yeah, tightening the border. That's the name of the game. But how am I gonna finally move to the US?
Juan, Colorado me llaman, soy señores de Michoacán. Hasta los más salidones al mirarme muchos se van. que viva mi tierra Michoacán y deme charanda para brindar, que Juan Colorado ya está aquí, montado en su cuaco en huracán. Cuando me encuentro resuelto que de frente quiera pelear, con mi pistola y machete por mi suerte yo he de ganar. Que viva mi tierra Michoacán y deme charanda para brindar, que Juan Colorado ya se va, montado en su cuaco en huracán.